Encoding overloaded. What? What does that mean? What have I done?
Don't know.
Hold on a second. I think it's working, but it's also not working. Encoding overloaded. Let's see what happens here. I accidentally opened up Photoshop, so give me a second here. Oh, they changed the icon so it's big and glowy now. That's cool. Can't hear anything. Sure. Let's see if that works. Nope. Photoshop did not close. There we go. Whoop, whoop. All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Right, starting off strong.
Right, yeah. Boom, right there with the donations. Thank you very much. I'll do. Oh, I didn't grab my weights. I was gonna start doing. I'm gonna do some stretches. I'm gonna do some stretches for that. We need to start stretching anyways. So, how's everybody doing today? I'm Rookzer0. Welcome back to the Draw Stream. We're doing the viewer suggestion today. There is a link for the Aggie.io software that we are in. If you'd like to join us, you're very welcome to. I'm gonna do some stretches here. Get my shoulders awoken. Just gotta get super woked, and then get super yoked. Get real buff.
I'll do 20 push-ups.
See, Bionic, how are you doing today? So earlier in the week, I posted a community post on YouTube for people to suggest their drawings. We have, I think, 9 today. If you want to add some more on there, you're welcome to. I'll start with those original 9. We're gonna roll the dice. We're gonna draw some stuff, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's also first day back from doing some other project work, so I might just stay around a little later today. We might be able to actually get through this list, which would be really cool. But yeah, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna enjoy the day. Get the last of these stretches done. I got my yoga ball set up, so I'm like ready to go.
Awesome.
Oh, the twisties. Slow twists. No jerking motions.
And Dr. Random, you don't have to do push-ups too.
Okay. I'm exhausted, but I'm okay. It's good to hear. Good to hear, Dr. Streaming on my cake day. I want a little. Nice. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Bionic.
I don't know if that's a trick just to make me draw your suggestion, but I suppose we can try that. Never again, though, because then now everyone's just going to say it's their birthday. There's no way for me to check.
Yeah.
I'll probably still roll the dice.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I usually say that the dice know what's up.
Yeah. Let's start off with a good little rugby sketch.
I need a D8. I finally have my dice bag within arm's reach.
I'm joined with the Blues Druid today.
Hello.
We're hanging out on Discord. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Did a fun little commission piece yesterday. I'll probably post that on TikTok a little later. Oh, this is a really shaggy rugby. I like it.
He also needs a haircut.
He also needs a haircut. I have not gotten an actual haircut in like 3 years now. Just buzz it. Just buzz it off because that's what I got. Mostly the sides. Do. Let's get this hype train going. Not on Twitch today. Not on Twitch. We're on the YouTube. If you haven't checked out the Twitch page, feel free to. It's actually not a lot of content up right now because I've been not saving the VODs. So hopefully that will change in the future. So if you want to see like behind the scenes stuff, or me working on commissions. That's overall on the Twitch. And I will be open for commissions next week, I believe. Got a word back from the publisher, and he says that the book's looking good. We'll probably have some edits and adjustments next week, and then that'll be it. So, see how that goes. See how that goes. I also might be looking for a programmer here soon. Thinking about making some stuff.
Wow, it's that serious, is it?
Yeah, you know, I'm just not great. I haven't got a haircut since like 2019. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if anybody remembers the Floby that came out in like the 90s, I want to say. It was essentially just hair clippers attached to a vacuum hose.
I do not remember that.
And my uncle was just so like, it's so efficient and amazing. And then like my grandparents got one. And at one point I used it and I was like, this is just a pair of hair clippers. Like, all it's doing is vacuuming up the hair. Which you can do with a broom or a real vacuum. So, yeah. Long story short, I bought a pair of clippers and I've had them ever since. Don't skimp on those, though. If you buy hair trimmers, get a good pair. Keep them well oiled.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Good
worse
pair
than,
isn't that expensive.
Yeah, nothing worse than pulling hair because you didn't oil your clipper. Words to live by. I'm not digging this music. What kind of music can we listen to today? I mean, chiptunes is always a classic. Cake, money, 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 seagulls. All right.
What?
That's the name of this song.
Okay.
You know, the song is fire. We're going to save it. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. I know some fun stories that aren't art related and on D&D related. We have a RAV4, which I love, and it just started like clicking when we were driving the other day. And I was like, no. And I know just enough about cars to, how do I say this?
Get in trouble?
No. Actually, yeah, well, maybe.
I know just enough about cars to get in trouble.
Like, I can look at it and I'm like, okay, nothing is catastrophically broken or leaking or, like, cracked. And I know the sound is coming from this area. So now my only option is to either A, take the tire off and stare at it and put the tire back on, or just take it to a shop. And it's like, dang it. I guess I know enough to know when there's a problem, but not enough to fix it. It's like, shit. So we'll see what happens. I think there might have just been like a rock in the suspension or something. So I drove it around a little bit and it seemed to stop, but I regret not knowing more about cars. I think part of the trick about that is like the same thing with computers, though. It's like if you wanted to fix your car, you could just look up the manual and then do it.
Yeah.
But if you're not a trained expert and you don't have the right tools, that becomes complicated, and you could be chasing the completely wrong thing because you don't have the experience of knowing what it was. So that's where we're at. We'll see what happens. Well, I think my process of working on this book and doing the other big projects I've been working on has improved my art, which is good. because I've been doing art like nonstop for 6 hours a day on top of streaming. But I feel like I haven't gotten to do a lot of like my art that I love doing, so it's interesting. It's an interesting feeling. Maybe those kind of breaks are good. Trying to be a little more detail oriented, I guess, which is something I've always struggled with. That and just like doing all the watercolor, definitely like changing mediums once in a while is, I think, really healthy.
Yeah,
Kind of
totally.
gives you a new perspective on stuff. Uh-oh, we lost Brian.
Uh-oh.
I'm just going back to the ferret farm.
Sorry, Bri. See you later. So I have a question about Rugby.
Okay.
When he swims, does he flap his ears like a manta ray?
Yes, but to varying degrees of effectiveness. Like, I'm not going to confirm or deny that that's how he has to swim, but that's what it looks like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. I just had to ask because I don't even know where this came from, but this is my picture today. This is my rugby warm-up.
Breaststroke rugby. Butterfly rugby.
He's being confronted by a fish.
Wouldn't he be a mermaid then? Shouldn't he like whoop? Merfolk rugby.
But then why would he be holding his breath?
Because he's an idiot. He turns into a
Fair.
fish and he still tries to breathe. He's like, "Ah, ah." Do fish have the propensity to hold their breath? I don't think they do, because like they don't have lung capacity.
No, yeah.
I think the blowfish is the only thing that could play the trumpet.
I mean, there are a couple of species of lungfish,
That's true.
but they're all fresh water, aren't they?
I don't know. I would assume not, but
All of the ones that I'm aware of are very closely related to the electric eel.
okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess those are freshwater, aren't they?
Yeah, and also technically bony fish and not eels.
Love me some bony fish. All right. It's time. I think it's time. We're going to roll a dice. Here we go. 3. Hobgoblin Samurai. Or a Knoll. Oh, there's 2 on this one. Who just really wants to be an admiral in the Navy. Both are pretty good characters. Man, a Knoll Admiral sounds pretty fun. Let's do that. I'm gonna do a Knoll Admiral.
Yeah, you just love drawing gnolls.
Knolls are fun to draw.
They are.
Burning, welcome, welcome. How are you? Knolls have this really fun curve on their neck. It's like they just have massive shoulders, which is fun to draw. I always draw their heads wrong though. Regular nose. Oh, you know what? I finally have time. I might actually catch up on Critical Role for once. Well, start trying to catch up. I should say.
Yeah, there's already
What, like 9 episodes or something on season 3?
something like that, yeah. Each of them is at least 3 hours long.
Yeah. That's a half week's worth of work.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna Donald Duck this guy, which sounds inappropriate, but I watched this weird short YouTube video. Whoever made it, I have no idea. But they were making an argument about why everybody loves Donald Duck so much and why he was like painted on every ship in World War II. And it's because he was an incompetent American that got drafted, basically. And it was like, that doesn't seem fair. But yeah, people were like, Mickey Mouse was too much of like the Mary Sue, whereas Donald Duck was just like the everyday Joe Schmo. And it's like, that's cool. I like Donald Duck.
Roll of 5. Bionic's Brawny Bearfolk Brawler Barbarian.
Oh, shit.
See?
Happy birthday.
I'm sorry if you wanted Rook to draw it. I'll do my best.
I'll probably get a better bear from Druid anyway, so.
Well, I mean, it's more likely to have color.
That's
than
true.
If you did it.
Yep.
I don't know if my quality is any higher than yours.
I definitely have more experience drawing bear folk.
Yeah. That is definitely true. I am actually going to have to pull up reference.
Oh, I should also say this one was suggested by... I think that should be important. Hephaestus Builds is who suggested this one. So I will be drawing that Knoll Admiral. Dr. Random, 13. 13 what? Some of those comments are comments. Just if you're just looking at the 13 comments on the post. Unless a whole bunch of people just added new ones. Better refresh the page.
Okay, draw a bear, start with an otter.
Yep. Draw a big dick. And then give it arms. Would a Knoll wear his hat here or here? I think it'd be on his head. Is this Shovel Knight? It sounds like Shovel Knight. Oh, no. Chipped of the Necrodancer. Hell yeah! God, I love Curse of the Necrodancer. It's so good. 13 Critical Role episodes. Okay. There's 13? Shit, I'm even further behind than I thought.
Hey, Bionic, since it's me and not Rook, you're totally welcome to request a weapon or a theme.
Excuse me.
If you don't have a particular weapon in mind, I'll probably just do a big old hammer.
Oh my goodness. Can I just... Yeah, play all tracks. Holy crap, let's do that. We're just gonna Chip the Necrodancer it up. Can I save an album? Add to playlist. Necro! So I have a, well, that's only the track, though. Whatever. I know this exists now, so that's good. I suggest Barbarian because Rook a while ago said he needs to draw abs. Bears don't have abs! Bear's got the bear tum.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that, Druid.
I'm mean, I'm not exactly straight. It's not going to be hard for me.
You definitely have the edge on drawing abs, because I do not do it at all often. I need to draw more dudes. I don't draw enough dudes anymore.
And I need to draw more ladies.
Yeah, I spent like the first 20 years of my life just drawing buff, muscular superhero dudes. I feel like I gotta catch up. Or I gotta make up for lost time. I think I made this muzzle too long. They also have weird squat faces. And then long jaws, I think? Is that how that works? How do hyenas do?
They usually have something like an underbite. Here you go. Here's a hyena face.
Ah! It's all about those giant cheekbones. Cachetes. I don't know if that's the right word. I think that's the Spanish word for cheeks. But the guy that taught me that word was not the most trustworthy when it comes to like real translations. He once convinced my boss that the chupacabra, which is translated into the goat sucker, was actually the chupamapito, which means suck my dick. So she walked around talking about it for a long time. It was highly inappropriate. So everything he taught me, I take with a grain of salt. But yeah, definitely not the same thing. Maybe just a brawler, unarmed fighter, because of the alliteration. All right, there you go.
Okay. I can do that.
I think a lot of what makes hyenas are the little ears.
Yeah.
We've got little interesting ears compared to a lot of other creatures.
I mean, they do also kind of have a weirdly in-between length snout.
Yeah.
And their jaw is not necessarily like underbite, but it's really wide compared to a lot of other top-tier predators.
We need a collab with Tier Zoo. Which DD character is the best? Okay. Buff bear brawler barely big clothes but briefs. More alliteration.
Is that permission to do the tiny frisetted G-string?
Does bear need a G-string? That might be too much.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's YouTube, so
I forgot we were on YouTube. Yeah.
And he's fairly anthropomorphized, so better clothed than not clothed, probably.
Okay, he's facing that way. His hat is a banana. His hat is a balanced banana. Maybe it's a bean. It's kind of a bean. would highly hashtag not sponsored, but if you haven't seen the new DuckTales series, I highly recommend it. It's pretty good.
Did you see that they're rebooting Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
I didn't, but it makes sense. I love that show. I actually,
yeah.
a few months ago, I couldn't sleep, so I started watching cartoons at like 2 in the morning to just have something on while I tried to fall asleep. And so I watched a whole bunch of I watched all of the old DuckTales, and I watched some Chip and Dales, and then I watched like Darkwing Duck. Gotta say, like I could not watch Chip and Dales, as much as I used to, because like I didn't realize how annoying their voices are.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking shrill.
That and oh shoot, I can't remember which is which. I think Chip's the one with the big red nose, right? He's kind of an asshole.
Yes.
He's kind of just a shitty person.
He's totally a troll. He takes absolute delight in making Chip's life, or in making Dale's life, a living hell.
I feel like they wrote the story for Gadget and Monterey Jack, and then they were just like, and we'll put these two in there too, and it's like they could not exist in this show and it would still be a show.
Yep.
It was really weird. Gadget was my first furry crush. I could see that. Could definitely see that.
I didn't exactly have a crush on Gadget, but like she was the character that I admired and identified with the most, I think.
She's pretty adorable.
She is pretty adorable.
Let's see if I can draw this now. I feel like, I guess, maybe I didn't think about this all the way through. But I wanted to give him the little sailor suit, and now that I'm saying it out loud, it's a little sailor suit.
Yep.
So he looks less like an admiral and more like he needs a lollipop. Which I didn't expect. Why does it look so masculine on a Donald Duck and so childish on anything else?
I think probably it has to do with the proportion, because I think like there is the little sailor suit that you put on children, and that is proportioned slightly differently than the actual sailor suit, which was the legit.
Maybe you're right. Let's try that. Let's try that out.
The legit uniform. That's the word I'm looking for.
The other thing I'm noticing is with the hat, when Donald gets all angry, because I'm looking at a bunch of pictures of Donald Duck, they actually change they tip it. They tip it and change the proportions of it, so it's got this like sneer.
Mm.
And it becomes a lot more angular. Now it looks like a beret. The little ribbon goes up instead of down. We'll make the bow much smaller so that it looks like he's in more of a suit than a costume. Excuse me.
There we go. Dad bod barbarian.
Dad bod barbarian. Gadget, Inspector Gadget? Gadget, Hack Wrench. I didn't know her last name was Hack Wrench. Was Inspector Gadget always supposed to be RoboCop, or was he just a robot?
I don't know. What I remember of the lore, he feels a lot more like a child-friendly version of RoboCop than anything else.
Because in the movie with Matthew Broderick, that's definitely what happened. Is he was definitely RoboCop. But
yeah.
But in the cartoon, I always remember him being like, not dumb, but just he felt more robotic. He didn't feel like a person that had robot parts. He was just, which I don't know if that matters.
Maybe. Yeah, because I remember most of the problem-solving skills came from the kids, right?
Yeah, what is Penny and the dog? What the hell is Brain? What was it, Brain? That was the dog's name.
I cannot remember, honestly.
But I feel like the dog was the smart, like, right? Yeah, Inspector Gadget was just like a pocket knife that came with them on adventures.
And I haven't thought about a lot of these classic cartoons in a long time.
Yeah, I just started thinking about them now. Trying to put them all together.
I miss a lot of them. I guarantee most of them are not as good as I remember.
Oh, no, yeah. Old DuckTales, there's a lot of weird shit going on in that show.
Yeah. Man, I loved Darkwing Duck so much, though.
I did too. I started watching it again, and like, he's a shitty superhero.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
I love that Launchpad's in it, which is so good. And I like to think that that's happening at the same time as DuckTales. Like if you watch the show and then watch Darkwing Duck, and it's just like that's why Launchpad is so shitty all the time because he basically works a day job for Mr. Scrooge and then he works at night for Darkwing Duck. And he just gets no sleep.
I love that. I love that headcanon.
Raptor to Raptor, what is this? Today we're doing the viewer suggestion, and so over here we have a Noel who wants to be an admiral, so I decided to make him Donald Duck. And then over here we have a brawler barbarian bear. And we're talking about cartoons. So that's where. How are you today, Raptor?
And this drawing does not make me a gay furry, okay?
Yeah, you can be whatever you want. Did you watch the Game Grumps just put out a new game by Yacht Club?
Yeah.
Really cute game. I can't remember what it's called though. Mouse something, doesn't matter. But they
Really
named the
good.
video like Dan's a big donkin' furry. And I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good video.
It was awesome.
Don't put words in my mouth.
was actually thinking of that video when I made my comment.
That's kind of what I thought. I think I gave this guy too many teeth. I made him look kind of like an orc.
I mean, gnolls are kind of orcish. Orc adjacent.
Yeah. I think the teeth should be a little more in the mouth. Well, can we put the teeth back in the mouth, please? That'd be great. I also gave him a weird nose. Let's fix that real quick. What am I getting text about right now? There's no time for texts.
They know you're drawing.
I'm working. His face is a little stubbier than I'd expected. The bear or the gnoll? Gotta give the gnolls a big grin because they're laughing all the time. I like to fight those preconceived notions. We can give a bit more of a grin, though.
By the way, Rook, the next time I'm bitching about not knowing how to adapt my style for animation, I want you to point me back to this drawing specifically.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I think that this helped me figure it out. It helped me figure out the order of operations that I think will help me actually get it done. I was literally about to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to switch to 3D.
Ooh, that is so much more time.
I know. I've been trying so hard to avoid it, but I mean, I'm a sculptor, right?
Right. The problem with, I mean, if you haven't done 3D modeling before, let alone 3D animation, there's a reason that's 3 different jobs. It's the same kind of principle when you're looking at like 2D animation. You have the layout, and then you have the keyframers, and then you have the tweeners. Like those are 3 different jobs. But with 3D animation, usually what they have is they have all 3 of these steps, as well as the base modeler, the rigger, and the base modeler can include the 3D sculptor. But the 3D sculpture and the animation mesh are 2 different things. And so it's more layers. And at the end of the day, if you're good at those, or you're using really, really simple animation, it can be faster to produce things, because you basically don't have to redraw all the in-betweens. The computer does that for you. Yeah. But it's a lot more initial setup is the thing, and that can be really frustrating. I know a lot of guys that are really good animators and hate rigging. Like, they just hate it with a passion.
Interesting. I've been trying to avoid it because we kind of had this conversation before, and I know I don't have the expertise for it. I was just yesterday, I was seriously considering just saying screw it and learning it, because I've been beating my head against a wall for the 2D animation so hard for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and feel like I've made no progress. And as a sculptor, I know how to simplify 3D forms much better. So I know it would be a lot more setup, but I also know it would be much easier for me to make simple
You know the guy that animates a whole bunch of the Game Grumps. He do these guys. He do the little blocky people.
Yeah.
Do it for my dad. That shit is way more complicated than people think, because they're like, oh, it's like Legos. You just do. It's like, no. He's doing frame by frame animation inside of basically a low fidelity textured modeling environment. So he cut corners by using base colors and then applying special gradients to those textures. He still has to do all the rigging, all the modeling, all the anime. Like, it's still such a huge project.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bernie said anyone that claims 3D animation is lazier than 2D has never done it or even looked into it. Yeah, they're so different. And I don't know how else to say it. The principles of animation are the same, but they're very, very different mediums. So
yeah, I figured as much, and like I knew it would be a lot of work, but
yeah. And if you want to get into that kind of stuff, like I'm not going to say like, hey, don't do it. You can use Blender and make some pretty cool stuff. Really fast, but it's what you should do is basically find a medium that you like and enjoy using and do that. And if that's claymation, fucking do claymation. like it's all the, it's just, that's really the problem, because you've seen me struggle with Blender and Adobe Animate. It's a process, and animation really is time. It's a time thing, especially when you're like trying to get, the way I've done it, like in the past with like the Kobold and the Rugby animations, I have to color in every single layer because I could not figure out how to use symbols inside of Animate anymore. And I did it in Photoshop because I couldn't figure it out in Animate or in Blender, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna brute force this and draw every single frame. Yeah, so I would say we should try some different programs and see which one makes the most sense for what you want to do, and then just take the time to learn it.
Yeah, like, I mean, I haven't even been able to get into the actual program animation stuff because I've been so caught up on like not even being able to get my character models, my figures, my characters simplified enough that I feel they can be animated. Yeah,
and it might be something that you want to start with. Like you're originally going for an animatic, right? Like instead of
yeah, it's just supposed to be simple still frames.
I might have an animator I should show you, because I think you can do that, especially. Hold on a second. Raptor to Raptor, a Kobold Barbarian who wears an oversized dragon skull as a helmet. I think that's a pretty funny idea. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. I have a goblin who wears like a bugbear skull, a kobold skull. I think it was really funny. But yeah, looks like a Cubone, kobold Cubone. I think I'm getting pretty close to being done with this one. I might move on to the next picture. But I think what you'd want to do is, if your focus is the animatic, I would just make your animatic. And in the process of doing that, that is going to kind of start helping you build what you need to draw. And then every time you do that, you're going to start doing the in-betweens, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, I only need to do this. And you're going to slowly learn how to simplify your characters. Because I mean, yeah, your style sheets are a great way to go, but if you haven't done a lot of animation, you kind of don't know where and what to simplify yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So essentially, I would start doing your animatic, and in the process, it's probably going to suck, and you're going to have to do it again. But, like, that's the process. That's how you learn, right? Like, that's the big thing with going to college, is they, like, just, like, do it 50 times. Do it 50 times, and then you're going to feel really good about it. It's like, it's time. It's time, and it sucks.
Yeah. and I mean, like, as a art model, I did basically audit an animation class, but like I was never there for this technical stuff. It was all about figure drawing.
Yeah.
Right. So this is definitely an area where I am lacking a lot of information, and I have just been trying to gather as much information as I can, see a lot of things. Yesterday I was like, I need to decide if I want I need to decide how complicated I'm going to make this. Like, do I want to do fire and ice, or do I want to do something really, or do I want to do Adventure Time?
Right.
And then I looked at both of them, and I'm like, both of these characters are really simplified.
Yeah. So with fire and ice, like that's mostly rotoscoping, right?
Yes.
And that's
absolutely.
that's a really good way to learn animation. Is rotoscoping, because then what you're doing is if you have your animation, I mean, so for those of you who don't know what rotoscoping is, hold on a second. 3D animation is doing 50 minutes of animation and then realizing you accidentally inverted the arm skeleton. I have done that. I have absolutely done that. I'm gonna let me re-roll this for the next one real quick, and then I'll get into this little rant I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, 6. A kobold Kensai monk with a boomerang. I might actually put a dragon skull on that and kind of blend them all together. In my doodlings, I've tried to find, I don't know, a style, I guess. Drawing something other than just direct replicas breaks my brain. Like, I can't visualize it any other way. That's a thing. That's a thing that happens. Like, I have the opposite. I don't replicate well. Like, I can draw a bowl of fruit on a table, but I get really bored. Because it's just like repetitive. It's a different start. I would rather stylize it. I would rather give it like sketch it and doodle it and leave it alone and make it very abstract. I can't do like photorealism very well because that's not a style I enjoy doing. So yeah, this is just a different style. I can't do it. Some people can. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's mine. Nice. Yeah, Dr. Random. We're gonna do Dr. Random. That's cool.
Where I'm running into difficulty is specifically that I have always tried to do photorealistic or something that at least feels photorealistic or very like traditional painterly, and animation and most illustration is not that.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the rant I was gonna get, and this is actually this is a thing we did at the university when we were talking about animation. When you're doing your style sheet, the first thing that you should really focus on is your shape. Like,
yeah.
I might get demonetized for this, but like
an identifiable silhouette.
Yeah, everybody knows what this is, right? Like, which one of those is Mickey Mouse? These two. Right? Because this doesn't look right for some reason, and part of that is because these are the two shapes that Mickey Mouse's head can be. He's either straight on or from the side. Those are the only two shapes that Mickey Mouse's head ever is. So what you can do when you're starting your style sheet is the silhouette and the shape is actually more important than any of the details. Yeah. And so the first time you go through your animatic or your frames at least, you only draw the shapes. Hey, look, it's Finn the human. Right? And you do your whole animatic, and then we have Jake the dog. You do your whole animatic with just that. No detail whatsoever, just shape. And so what you can do there is you can go all the way through that, and then you draw your keyframes, which are going to be hyper animated. Let's see if I can draw Finn the human real quick. His ears are way too big. There we go. And then that's how you start seeing like what between this and like my hyper realistic thing do I need, because during a lot of the tweens you don't need a lot of detail, and I think that's a good practice of trying to like take your character, break them down to the very very bare bones, and animate them, play around with them, like see what you can do. before you have to worry about anything else, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And if it feels like you have to do, and this is what I was going to say, I have an animation person that I really like. A lot of the times their animatics are very well drawn. Like they have most of their information in their sketches, including like where they want the character to move or show like that. And it works really well. It works really, really well for them. So it doesn't have to be stupid when you do this, but you should still be able to tell your story without having to put any of the detail in. And that I think is a great place to start. And then after that, you can start working on the style sheets, right? Because the style sheets are really meant to be given to the tweeners and be like, hey, so here's the story I want you to tell, frame by frame, fill it in. And here are the sheets that you need to know what the character looks like from different angles, the kind of clothes they would have on, or different things that they might be holding and showing off during the animation. So don't get stuck on the final process when really, you just want to tell your story as simply as possible.
Sure. I suppose that is literally where my breakdown, the breakdown in my brain is happening, is I'm probably starting too deep into the process when I should be taking a step back.
Yeah, it's a matter of, like I said, it's 3 jobs. So which job do you want to start with, right? And that's a big thing with animation is people are like, oh, I'm going to animate some stuff. It's like, okay, where are you starting? Are you starting with your keyframes and you're just going to make your whole animation with blocks? Or are you going to model a whole character and then decide whether or not that actually works for your animation? I've done that. I modeled a whole character, and then we only ever needed, like, the top half of him, because we weren't showing the feet. And it was like, why did I spend 4 days modeling legs? Shit. So. And I know back in the day, like, when computers couldn't handle shit, at least mine couldn't, because I was running 3D Studio Max on like a laptop when I was in college. If you wanted a face rig, you could not have it with your body rig. It just, like, the computer couldn't handle it. So really? You had, so anytime you wanted someone to talk, you had to stop and swap out the face rig character.
Basically render it separately?
Sometimes, yeah. And there were ways to composite that, which is really good. But
yeah,
like, it was tough. It was a tough thing, and it was something that, like, I had to deal with a lot. It was a pain in the ass. That's too big. What is this again? Kensai monk with a boomerang.
Is this reading as war paint? Because that's what I'm hoping for.
I'm covered in blood. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
Cool.
Would the paint be on top of his belt though? Would he have gotten it on his belt?
I don't know, maybe. Probably. I'm being pretty fast and loose with this.
I'll put this in the channel chat. Oh no. Kinko. 97,000 subscribers. Shit.
Don't compare.
Very, very detailed panels. I mean, for what it is, it's a very detailed panel.
Sure.
But you can sometimes see snippets of where, like, I just don't fucking need detail in this panel. And I love it. I think it's great. You do a great job.
That's something I'm trying to be mindful of, and I am so not practiced in doing that. It's breaking my brain to try to figure it out.
And I really think that's going to be something you just pick up. It really is, which sucks. Like that's kind of the thing that there's only so much you can really learn from books, and a lot of it you just have to try it. You just have to try it and see what happens.
Sure. I'm not used to not being able to do something the first time I pick it up.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't make all of you think less of me.
No, I think that's normal. I think that's very normal, especially with like all of these things are so specific. I'm a pretty good 3D sculptor. Not like I'm not great, partially because I haven't practiced in a lot of the software anymore. I used to be really good with Mudbox because I had to be, but I'm not good at optimizing. I'm not good at baking materials. I'm not good at I'm not super great at UVW unwrap or all of these terms I'm realizing now don't matter. So even after you do like a full sculpt, you then have to go and retopologize it. That's what I'm looking for. Retopologize it down to a lower thing so that the computer can handle it properly. I'm not great at that. I'm just not, because I haven't done it a lot. So usually what I would do is I would sculpt something, I'd hand it off to someone else, they would retopologize it, and then I would take their topology and I would unwrap it and make the materials for it. Because it was faster. It was faster to give it to someone else, have them do it. Yeah. And most people hated doing the UV unwraps and the modeling weights, like this, because you have to weight all of the different bones to different levels of animation to the rig. I liked doing that. That was really fun. I like doing UV weighting. Most people hate it. Most people hate rigging. There's a handful of riggers who are really, really popular and just did all the work for a lot of companies because people just don't like doing it. So yeah, 5 or 6 different jobs that you have to learn how to do if you want to do that stuff by yourself, and it's pain.
Right, and I don't even know what the difference is between all of them yet.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to learn. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. I really appreciate the advice.
Yeah, jumping into 3D animation is going to be the exact same thing, though. Is what I would say. Like, can you do it with just blocks? Can you do it with just shitty models? I love watching like The Incredibles and stuff when they do like the pre-planning animations and animatics, because they just have like a T-posed character just like floating through the scene, like because that works. Like, that's all you need. You just need like, this is where the character's gonna be, and now give that to an animator and let them go to town.
Sometimes it's not even the right character.
Yeah.
All right, Bionic, I'm done. I hope that works for you.
I just realized that if he has a dragon skull on his head, he's also going to have his normal horns. So he's going to have like 4 horns here.
Okay, new roll.
I think we're down to 7? 6 or 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. We have 5 left. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I rolled a 3. You already did that.
6. So 3 would be Drunken Master Monk Dragonborn. His weapon is a spear. Ooh, it's a quarterstaff with a broken bottle attached to the end of it. That's pretty funny.
I can do that.
You did tattoos. Oh my god, wow, that's pretty. Nice job. Nice job.
I'll hop in and draw one.
Sure.
Yeah,
What should
yeah.
I roll?
Roll a d6, and if you roll a 6, re-roll.
Rolled a 3.
3. A Yonti Pureblood Necromancer.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
So, Birding, do you want the center of the canvas or the far right?
I can scoot over a little bit.
I'll take the right.
Okay. Drunken Master Monk. Alright, gotta keep it loose.
Loosey goosey.
Last week I had such a hard time drawing anything, and I think part of it was I was just so fucking uptight. I couldn't get out of my own way.
I feel that sometimes. Kensai monks are just weapon monks, right?
I believe so.
Sword.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's your stream. You can take up half the canvas. We'll split the rest. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I always find it weird that Yonti purebloods are the most human-like.
Yeah. It drives me crazy. I think the way it's supposed to be is that the pure blood nature of it is that they aren't spliced with snakes. Like, they have all the magical snake powers with none of the actual, snake taint? I don't know how else to say it. Like, because it's kind of a curse, right? Like, they willingly become infused with snake.
Snake taint. This really is becoming a furry stream.
No.
Sorry, Burning. I'm already crowding you out too.
Oh no, you're fine. I was gonna go mostly vertical anyway.
This is the 5e Dragonborn, so I don't need to worry about tails, right?
It's up to you. You know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I know. That question was for the chat.
I'm a firm believer of if your character needs a tail because you think it needs a tail, I don't care what race it is.
I always draw Dragonborn with digitigrade legs, and in my mind, at least for my design sensibilities, walking digitigrade usually means you need a tail for balance.
Mm-hmm. I'm down with that.
Although, it's not necessarily true because, ballerinas don't need a tail and they walk on their toes too.
That's kind of a learned thing, though.
I know.
And they also don't do it all the time.
That's like saying, it's like saying, oh, tiny dogs can walk on their back feet. It's like, well, they can, but they don't. You can do it for a little while. They hyper-specialize into 2 weapons. Okay, cool. I choose Boomerang and other Boomerang.
Big Boomerang and little Boomerang.
I have done that. With, not Boomerangs, but like I did a shield champion and I got 2 weapon proficiencies and I'm like tower shields and smaller shields. Just like let's do it. Or I guess it was a throwing shield. It was a throwing shield and a spiked shield, I think. So I had a melee shield and a ranged shield. I was like, yes, this is what I wanted. I'm totally down with that kind of stuff. It's like, hello, I'm Hyper Specializer. Change this out. This looks like a kobold with a kobold skull on his head. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go. Beep. How big can we make this? Pretty big. I want it to be covering up his eyes, so maybe like that. That looks pretty good. Let's try that. That looks interesting, but not great. That is a joke for this character. He has an overabundance of boomerangs and just machine guns them at things. That's pretty great. I like that.
Boomerang man, except that the boomerangs don't ever come back. Captain Boomerang? Was that the...
It might be. I don't remember.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang.
There's a DC villain and a Marvel villain. I don't remember what the Marvel character's name is. They call me the Ringer. Sorry, what?
Both have really terrible villains.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel has Stiltman.
What was the guy from the new Harley Quinn show? It was like Kite Man?
Kite Man?
Yeah, Kite Man.
Yeah.
Oof.
There's also the Condiment King.
Yep.
Calendar Man.
Calendar Man. Who's the guy that shoots glue? Can't remember what his name is. Maybe that's a tick villain. That might be a tick villain, I think.
Maybe. It's pretty great when you look at tick villains and think, oh wait, this could actually be like a Marvel or DC villain.
Yeah. Batman Well. Fucking love Batman Well.
My favorite is Chairface Chippendale.
Chairface Chippendale is great.
That name was the first like furniture design joke I ever, like the interior design joke I ever got.
I love American Made. I think she's such a good character because it's just like like unabashedly poking at kind of the shitty nature of oh crap.
Patriotic.
Yeah, it's like a blend of the patriotic bullshit, but also like just how crappy they treat women in a lot of comics.
Right.
I can't think of what I'm trying to think of. Wonder Woman, right? Like,
Yeah,
I love Wonder Woman, but for a very long time it was basically just a bondage comic, which it's like that's a little weird. And now she's just like she's on par with Superman, which I fucking love.
Yeah. Love that.
Because whereas a lot of characters in DC, basically like humans in DC, the DC universe suck. Like they aren't on par with anybody, and so Superman had this kind of god status, and then all of a sudden you look at the actual pantheon in the DC universe, when you look at like Ares and the other gods, and Wonder Woman's right in the middle of that. She is as powerful as Superman. It's like, yes, okay,
Yeah.
so there is a power, like there's a power structure here we can look at. I like it, but that's my biggest beef with DC is like aside from Batman, humans are just looked down on as useless and kind of pointless. Whereas with the Marvel universe, you do have things like Hawkeye, and you have basically S.H.I.E.L.D. is functional without superheroes,
Yeah.
and they kind of make their own superheroes. But the power gap is just so huge in the DC universe that it feels so
Alright.
little.
To bring a counterpoint to that,
Sure.
The Flash is honestly on par with Superman once you actually look at what all of them do.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I think that's true.
DC has never taken him seriously.
True, DC's never taken him seriously, but as
There's
far as just,
also there's some good examples of this. Is I agree with you. I agree. The Flash. The thing is, do you consider the Flash a regular human? Because he's been gifted he's definitely a metahuman for sure, but he's been gifted this like cosmic force, which there have been instances where the Flash has said like, yeah, I could take out Superman if I had to, and then there have been instances where Superman takes him out real easy, and it's like, that's a weird one. That's a really weird one because yeah, I love the Flash. The Flash is great. Flash is so good. He's such an interesting character to kind of break down. But yeah, I don't know if I'd consider him human. I guess that would be my argument for that. Because like there's also like Jean Grey, right?
Yeah.
Marvel Girl or whatever the hell her original name was.
Miss Marvel.
She was Miss Marvel's someone different. I think her original moniker was Marvel Girl, but then they just started calling her Jean Grey in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, I did not know that.
And part of the reason for that is she was a powerful mutant to begin with, and then she obtains the Phoenix Force. And so at that point, once she has the Phoenix Force, I wouldn't consider her like, oh yeah, she's one of the strongest mutants. It's like she's not really like, you don't count that.
Yeah,
like that's not fair.
Yeah, that is an added thing on top of her
Yeah.
telekinetic and psychic abilities, right?
Um,
It's not really connected to her.
It's like Ghost Rider.
Mutant power.
yeah, like Ghost Rider is once again it's a cosmic force of vengeance, and so a human having Ghost Rider, the Ghost Rider powers, is super powerful, like super powerful. And then there have been times when like the Ghost Rider decides like, hey, you know what? We should hang out with the Hulk or with Venom, and it's just like, ah, shit. It kind of breaks the meta, you know. So yeah, I mean, but that's my big thing with my big beef with DC is that for all the amazing shit that Batman does, like there's a lot of incompetent people in the DC universe, and part of it is just the power scale. Superman is just way too powerful.
I think that what you're saying is generally true, but as I'm like really considering it, I'm also thinking Slade Wilson, who is at least on par with Batman.
Yeah.
And Daredevil and the Punisher.
Those are both Marvel characters. He's just listed a whole bunch of Slade Wilson, though. Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, though, directly counterpo to Batman, right? Like, I think the Batman is a good character, and they have to place him with other humans, right? Because he can't fight Superman level stuff. Slade Wilson shows up, and Superman's pissed off. He would instantly die. I think.
How do you feel about like technology enhanced characters like Booster Gold?
Yeah, so that's the other part of that, and that's why I brought up the point of like, when do you stop becoming a human and you start becoming something else? Because like Booster Gold is from the future, and so he's kind of a B-list superhero though. Like that's the thing. Like his whole thing is like, I have technology that is from the future, and so I'll go back in time, so I am a superhero. And he comes back in time, he's like, I still kind of suck. That's not great. He's a cool character. I really like his character. Another good example is Captain Atom.
Yeah.
Was a human, became a weird fusion bomb. That's the DC universe, right? Like the humans themselves are like completely useless until something weird happens to them. And it's fine. Like, it's not bad. But, like, I like that there are humans in the Marvel universe that are competent without having to have some crazy super-powered thing. Like, there's still a chance. Like, mind you, Thor could just punch any human to death, right? Just like, meh. I feel like the writing is different. That's really my argument. Is I feel like Marvel generally writes humans as more functional within a superhero environment, whereas DC is just like, here's the superheroes and ignore everything else. And it's like, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm off my rocker. Maybe I only watch the bad stuff, but
No, I think you definitely got a point there.
At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I enjoy both of them very much.
Yeah. It is a very different focus that I think they've had pretty much from the beginning for each one.
Mm-hmm.
Where DC is more focused on, like, the heroics, whereas Marvel's more focused on the characters themselves.
Sure, yeah. Marvel likes to tackle social issues and kind of maybe the darker side of society. Like the Jessica Jones comics are so good. And they basically, the first one deals with people discovered that if you have enhanced humans, you can make a drug out of their spinal fluid. And so people are just going around juicing themselves with superhero blood. And it's like, oh, I don't like it. It's scary.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
DC, on the other hand, did something similar where Lex Luthor is like, I can clone Superman and it will all be Superman. And it's like, oh, but it like doesn't fuck with your brain or anything and you're fine? Okay. All right.
And it's bad because Lex Luthor is bad.
Yeah, and then I think at the end of that series, they discovered... Oh, man, this is spoilers. All-Star Superman is a great show. People should go watch All-Star Superman. Yeah, Lex Luthor basically discovers that he's an idiot and gives it to the world. Like, once again, no social ramifications. I think Marvel does a lot better.
Dr. Random's got a good question. Would the Hulk be a human?
Would the Hulk be a human? Not anymore. No, like right. He's a metahuman. He's an augmented human. That being said, Bruce Banner
might still be human.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made about Bruce Banner was very smart. I think him becoming the Hulk made him smarter. There's an argument to be made about that.
Definitely made him more aware of himself and his limitations.
Yeah, and then there's like Reed Richards, like the Fantastic Four, right? They got blasted with cosmic rays and became kind of embodiments of things. So like Reed Richards is supposed to be the most intelligent being in the universe. And almost every time that becomes like to this push to this extent, he separates himself from humanity. He's just like, I'm too smart. This is stupid. I'm leaving. And it's like, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. Doctor Doom is technically still kind of human, but like once again, he's augmented the same way Tony Stark is with technology. So I don't know if you can count that the same way.
He's also augmented with magic
and money. Yeah, Doctor Doom is effectively Iron Man, Batman. I really like the counterpose to DC. Constantine and Zatanna,
yeah.
Are technically both just humans that dabble with the occult, and I love that. Like,
yeah,
I love that. Those are two of my favorite kind of like non-really meta humans. Dr. Fate is the same thing. It's just like I pick a random dude to put on a helmet, and now I am Dr. Fate. It's like, all right, Doctor Strange, I see what's going on here.
No, I'm not Doctor Strange.
I have a magical helmet and I possess the person, and that's like, once again, the person doesn't matter. It's just the magical shit that matters. And it's like, I bet there's a really good story about the guy that has to turn into Dr. Fate that we should probably explore more.
I like there was it Young Justice that explored that a little bit?
Did they? Okay, see, I haven't gotten too far into Young Justice. I got like 1 or 2 seasons in, and then I kind of lost.
I'm not sure, but I believe like basically the helmet of fate is
kind of
like
a curse.
It's an artifact that the Justice League is holding on to because it's like scary and dangerous. And something big happens. The helmet falls into Zatanna's hands, and Zatanna like learned magic from her father, who is a more prominent character in the cartoon, at least for like the first season. Zatanna gets her hands on the helmet. The helmet chooses her, and Zatanna's dad sacrifices himself to the helmet completely in order to save her and give her the rest of her life.
I think I remember seeing that. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea that the helmet is like a curse.
Unrelated, but bouncing back to Marvel, that's one reason that the MCU version of Thor, while I love it, I think also flattens the character.
Yeah.
Because the dynamic between Thor and Donald Blake was fantastic.
Fat Thor made me really happy. But yeah, Thor is definitely the Thor and Captain Marvel. Those are the two. Like those are the Superman analogs in the Marvel universe. That basically the first part of the episode is how do we make Thor not able to solve this? Same thing with the Hulk. Like the Hulk is bananas.
Yeah.
The Hulk's a little less so, just because you can much more easily be like, well, the Hulk loses control, so now they have to deal with that.
He also doesn't have like laser vision and flight and and like any ranged attacks without throwing a car.
But also he is like canonically unkillable, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Hulk is more like Hero Doomsday than Superman analog.
I think one of my favorite. If people haven't read Planet Hulk, you definitely should. Or watch the cartoon at least. I love the idea that you like Thor or not Thor. The Hulk can basically like fix a planet by bleeding on it. Like it's so funny. I love it.
I thought that was specifically that planet, but yeah.
Well, I mean that planet had a specific problem that I think got fixed by but it doesn't really matter. They're just like,
Yeah.
he's such a weird character, and I love it. Such a weird character, and I love it.
I mean, at that point, they were also kind of trying to imply that Hulk wasn't just like a big, strong guy, but
Yeah.
like, actually tapped into some like cosmic force.
He's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the cosmic force of strength. I think.
I think it's strength.
I think it's strength.
Oh,
And
so he is basically like the strength force,
kind of, yeah.
like Flash is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
speed force,
So-
except wrong cinematic universe.
Yes, basically, the Marvel universe has a few like cosmic entities, like the Phoenix Force. I don't remember what she's supposed to be. Something about
I think
consciousness.
She's just rebirth.
Yeah, it's something about that. And then the Hulk was rage, but not really rage. Then you have vengeance from Ghost Rider. There are 2 or 3 others. Spider-Man is Fate, I think.
Spider-Man's connected to one. Like
It's something about the
Mostly
multiverse,
it's
right?
not
Like the web,
defined.
right? Madam Web talked about it a lot. But so essentially, there should always be these things in the universe, and they just kind of get attached to different people and manifest differently. And so with Banner, he couldn't control his anger, and so he became this monster. But when he finally like ends up controlling it through a couple of the different Avenger movies, as well as Ultimate Avengers, I think, where he's just the Hulk all the time. And they do that at the end of Infinity Wars. He's like, oh yeah, check it out. Like, I can be the Hulk and not be an idiot. He is just like, he's enhanced. He's better in every aspect. Putting him on par with Reed Richards for intelligence, but Reed Richards is like purely knowledge, and so he always ekes him out. Yeah, I love that concept. I really like that concept of these like primal forces that kind of inhabit people. Which is really funny with the Planet Hulk comic when he comes back to Earth for like revenge. He basically starts killing everybody, and the shoot, what is it? One of my first comics I ever Ghost Rider. Yeah, one of the first comics I ever read was Ghost Rider versus the Hulk, and like it just kind of blew my mind and made me start loving comic books. But he meets the Ghost Rider, and the Ghost Rider's like, "You can't kill these people." And he's like, "They wronged me," and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I guess so," and he leaves. He's just like, "Yeah, go for it. You're totally right. You're totally in the right here."
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
the embodiment of vengeance.
Hulk was doing his part.
was doing the vengeance part.
Yep. I love it. I like Ghost Rider a lot. For as much shit as he got from Nicolas Cage, I still love Ghost Rider.
You know, I might be the odd one out, but I actually really liked Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
I don't think it was bad. I really don't. I think it was an okay movie. I mean, it wasn't a great movie, and as superhero movies go, it's pretty good. Like for when it came out. But
Yeah.
Oh yes,
But-
especially at the time.
the shit that I think it gets, I think the shit that it does get is because like Nick Cage goes over the top and the story is kind of wish-washy, but like for the spectacle that it is, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
The
That
only
was-
thing I didn't really like was the villain was
Kind of
boring.
lackluster, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? In the new Ghost Rider is, I can't remember his name. Bobby something?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think they did a really good job. The CGI is not as cool because it's not as grungy and dark, but they did such a good job with Ghost Rider. I love it. Yeah, it's only 1 o'clock. I think we can keep going, but I think I'm done with this one.
We're going at a pretty good pace.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
I'm good with this Vampire Necromancer.
I hope nobody minds that I chose blue for the Drunken Master, the Drunken Master monk. I just feel like blue Dragonborn fits that well.
All right, we got 4 left. Roll a 1 here. Matthew Stanley, how about a red Dragonborn Paladin with a lance and a shield? You do a Dragonborn.
Yeah, now you do Dragonborn too.
Now I do Dragonborn.
So there are 3 left?
There are 3 left.
That'd be wild if we actually got through them all today.
We only have 3 people, so that's much less than normal.
I rolled a d6 and got a 4.
Okay, cut that in half, so 2. So you're doing a Feral Berserker Barbarian with dual battle axes from Corvus King.
Ooh.
No problem, Dr. Random. You're very welcome for the art. I will post all of these on the Discord and Draw. If people want to grab them after the stream, they're very welcome to. Feel free to use them for your home games and stuff.
Yeah, you're totally welcome to use any of mine. Just don't sell it as your own, because that's, well, plagiarism 1, and really shitty 2.
Oh. So no comment on race for that barbarian?
Okay, actually, what did I say?
Said
Feral elf. Elf
Oh,
barbarian.
feral elf. Gotcha.
Has anybody heard from Jonas this week? I haven't heard from him in a while.
No.
I like this spiked chin thing you got going on. That looks pretty cool.
Thanks. I don't know why I did it. I think I was having a hard time making it, like, distinguishing it from, like, making it look dragon instead of lizard folk because of the way I drew the head shape. So I was just like, no, I'll put a little Godzilla in here.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of bearded dragon. Have to make the spikes bigger.
You know, for all the shit that they give Godzilla 2000, I love that movie.
I know.
I love the Godzilla design. I love that it's it is more of a monster movie than a kaiju movie, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. I like that the main reporter actually makes fun of the Americans for pronouncing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
No, it's pronounced Golgia. You know, I forgot to do a highlight layer for the barbarian. I might have to go back and do that.
I think I need to not listen to chiptunes right now. Let's change the music up. Dark Sun Elf. Dark Sun Elf's pretty cool. Man, I'm not sure I like the Dark Sun universe. I think
I like the art.
the art's pretty cool, but I think maybe it's just my propensity for disliking post-apocalyptic stuff.
I love post-apocalyptic stuff.
I just got oversaturated with it so hard in college.
I mean, that's fair.
I think that's about where I feel too, where if you're not doing something interesting with it, then why?
I love the new Mad Max. It's beautifully done and the world is built really well.
Oh yeah.
So I can appreciate and enjoy post-apocalyptic. I absolutely can. But I generally just try to avoid it because I think I'm just oversaturated with it.
think a lot of them also just kind of focus on like everything sucks, and look how much it sucks.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not a huge fan of that either. One of the reasons why I could not watch The Walking Dead was like just shitty situation and people being shittier to each other.
Yeah, right. I read most of the comics of The Walking Dead, and I gotta say I enjoyed that much more than the show. The show got a little too drama. But the comics get dark, like they get real dark. So I feel like that's kind of like its intent was to just be like, I mean, the title even, Walking Dead, right? Like the whole point is like, hey, you guys are all fucking dead. Just like,
Yeah,
we're already dead. Everything sucks. The world is over, and it's like rough, rough stuff.
It's not about the zombies being the Walking Dead. It's about the people being
Yep.
the Walking Dead, the survivors. I can appreciate that kind of nuance in a title and in the story, but yeah, when it just gets to be like, I don't even know how
It's
to term it.
depressing.
Yeah.
That whole show is just drama and depressing.
I can handle depression. Like, I've had depression most of my life. It's the drama that kills me. It's like, you guys know you could make life better for everybody if you just stood up to the bullies and, worked together like a community instead of being at odds and vying for power.
Yeah, that was something that was really interesting about the comic. Didn't touch on any of that. Like, very much a lot of the weird drama in the show was added for TV. Including like the choice of like who lived and died. There were a lot of people in the comic that basically their deaths were really important to me. Like, it drove the story home. And in the show, they just didn't do it. They decided not to do that. Instead, like, threw them in a love triangle with someone. It's just like, huh,
Ugh.
not my thing.
Yep.
Walking Dead would be like 5 episodes if people didn't act like yeah, exactly.
I think that's one reason you mentioned the new Mad Max. And one of my favorite things about that is, yeah, life sucks, the world's ruined, but they do end up trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the other... I think that was one of the other old Mad Maxes, too. Like, that's kind of the point. It's like, life can go on. And, like, people are just kind of stuck in these shitty holes where they're kind of just being assholes to each other. Let's see, Dr. N. Some of the interesting thoughts and experiences on how a zombie apocalypse shouldn't last longer than a year. Yeah, they did that with, what was it? 7 days later? And 42 days later or whatever. They're like, oh, the zombies
28.
just 28 days later? Yeah. 7 days to die. That's what I was thinking, yeah. 7 days to die. They were basically saying that, like, eventually all the zombies will just crap out. There's another interesting one, which I don't know if anybody watched this. It has Billy Connolly in it. It's called Fido. If you like zombie movies or comedies, you should definitely watch that one. But effectively at the beginning of the movie, they explain that, like, a meteorite passed by the Earth. And so when somebody dies from this point onward, because the whole world is just irradiated with this weird thing, when they die, they become a zombie. And the world just kind of, like, figured that out and kept going. So now it's this weird status symbol to, like, when you die, instead of having a funeral, you have your head decapitated right before you die, and then your family buries the body and the head gets incinerated. And it's like, it's this weird thing because it's like 1950s and zombies exist, but it's not really affecting, like, the world hasn't gone to shit.
Right. It's just changed funeral rites a little bit.
Yeah, and so, but they, like, the whole premise is that all the rich families have, like, a servant zombie. and this kid wants a zombie, and they finally get one, and they name him Fido. That's the premise of the show. Billy Connolly is the zombie, and it's great. And yeah, it's a really good show. It's a really, really good show.
Wow, that is not the twist I was expecting.
Yeah, it's. I mean, but that's exactly what the 50s would do, right? Like,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
someone would find it and sell it, and then that would be that.
Capitalism
Yeah.
makes the world go round.
I guess they kind of did that on the end of Shaun of the Dead too. Because like at the beginning of the movie, you see all the people working their shitty jobs, and at the end of the movie, they're still doing those jobs as zombies. It's like, ugh. 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 Spread of a bite-based infection quickly enough for all the employees. Yeah, I very much I dislike a lot of zombie movies because they trivialize the military response to things and the scope of things. Like, I could tell you right now, I know places in Idaho that if the zombie apocalypse broke out, nothing would change. Nothing would change for like 6 months to a year when everybody ran out of gas, and then it would still be fine. Like, because they're just isolated. They're just isolated from everywhere. Things like, yeah, like London, New York, oh shit would hit the fan so hard, right?
Yeah.
But I think oddly enough, what was that movie we watched with oh man, I can't remember names right now. The guy that played Drax, Baptiste? What the hell's his name?
Oh yeah, Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista. He had a movie come out where they like had to break into Vegas that was surrounded by zombies.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. I feel like that is kind of what would happen, you know? Like the zombie outbreak would happen wherever the epicenter was. They basically just like quarantined it off and then left it alone. Like, fuck that place. And when things calm down, we're gonna nuke it.
And I think it completely
that was a bad
our
movie.
plague has proved otherwise.
That's true. I mean,
But it depends on how quickly the change happens.
but if getting COVID turns you into a zombie, you know that would be not that like people would follow the government's things. It would be different.
Yeah. It would specifically be different because it's a lot more visible, right?
Yeah, the military vanishes. Yeah, and like that's the thing that always drives me crazy is like in Walking Dead, like their tanks, they have tanks, and people die in them because they run out of gas. It's just like, I don't know if that's how I think that would happen. And then like large military bases get overwhelmed, but for some reason farmhouses are fine. It's like, it's weird. It's really weird, and I would definitely see if I were watching like a post-apocalyptic movie with zombies, I feel like there would be large bastions, i.e. like military bases, would become small towns, right? It's just like...
Yeah.
But for some reason, whenever a zombie apocalypse happens, like the military just opens the bastions and then vanishes into the ether. And it's like, weird. But then you have like little tiny towns of hospitals that are like, yeah, we just poked them with sticks and it's fine. It's like, all right, that's strange. I don't know. Maybe I just have too much faith in, once again, like competent human beings. Doesn't make good TV, but I appreciate it when it's written that way.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't think that it can't make good TV. I think you just have to have a creative writer in order to make it work.
And I think
you just have to have somebody to ask the questions. Well, what would life look like? Like I've had this idea that it would be really kind of funny to have something kind of like a zombie apocalypse sitcom, basically, that was kind of like The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, God.
In that the people who survive are all intelligent, competent people, and maybe some of them are too intelligent, or like you can get drama without trauma simply by having intelligent people arguing about what's the best thing to do, and then like trying it in a situation where like stuff is not going to go the way they planned, right?
There's I talk about this all the time. This book is full of spiders, is what it's called, and it's the second book of the John Dies at the End series, and basically like a small zombie apocalypse happens, and you don't get to see it happen in the book. It just kind of like, through shenanigans of the book, time gets wonky, and all of a sudden you're just like plopped in the middle of this post-zombie apocalypse thing, and you're like, the fuck is happening? And yeah, like I think it does a really good job of showing like people that think they're prepared for that situation, like they have a bunch of preppers, how they kind of deal with what's going on, and not in a good way. And then you have these two bumbling idiots, which are the main characters, just kind of like how they survived through it. They don't know. They're just like, well, we're here now. What do we do? I think that book does a really good job of that, because like the government steps in and basically like, this town is shut off, and the two carrying characters are like, what do we do now? Like, how do we deal with this? I think that's more of an interesting dynamic story than what's his name waking up in a hospital and wandering around through the city.
I also think it's interesting that it brings up Doomsday Preppers not being great for the aftermath.
Yeah. They did you have you read that one?
I haven't.
I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it too bad. But like basically, I think the effect was that they felt cheated because the government stepped in so fast, like, and quarantined the town. And they're like, no, that's not fair. We've been ready for the zombie apocalypse. We should do something about it. And they're like, you could also just not do anything and you'd be fine. And so it becomes this weird kind of like at odds thing of this group being like, we should have gotten our fun zombie apocalypse. And it's like, oh no. So
that sounds way too accurate.
Right? Yeah.
It is one of like a really unique blend of comedy, horror, cynicism, and like thought problems that I haven't seen replicated anywhere else.
Something I loved about the first book is like one of the testimonials on the back was, it's like Lovecraft but with poop jokes. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good series. Anyone remember the revolving door in The Walking Dead? I don't remember the revolving door.
I have not seen The Walking Dead, honestly. I have a hard time with horror.
Something I loved about the comics in The Walking Dead is like one of the best defenses they had against the zombies were chain link fences, concrete walls, and holes in the ground. Because that was their mainstay of defense, was just putting a bunch of big divots in front of their doors and then blocking the path with a bus. Because it's like, if the zombies come at us, they just fall in the holes and then we go kill them later. It's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. But you also have to define your zombie type, right? Because like the new Back 4 Blood game, which is the Left 4 Dead remake, the zombies aren't zombies; they're like parasites, and so they just want to murder everything around them. And they're basically the feral zombies, I think, is the other way to look at it. Because there's undead zombies that are like mystically inclined, or biblical zombies, I guess, is the other way to look at bio zombies, and like rage zombies. So it's just, you can define all those things, and they're different, but they're all different genres of zombie film. So not everything I'm saying is, true for all of those different types of things, but I don't think I'm going to get the shield and the lance in here. Just out of... Maybe I should have planned that a little better.
You know, Resident Evil actually handles the zombie apocalypse surprisingly well.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of, like, the world doesn't end, right? Raccoon City starts getting infected, and they send in like a special team that goes see what's up, and then they're like, "Ah, fuck it, and just blow the city up."
Yeah,
just
they
get
glass
rid of it.
They drop a nuke on it.
Yep, glass it from orbit. It's the best way to go. 40 plus zombies pushing against a revolving door, but 3 people in it are able to stop it, and one of them needs to die so the others can escape. Or you could stick a broom in it, like,
Or like a hoodie,
or push the locking mechanism that most revolving doors have.
yeah. Because, you know, like, they do actually lock revolving doors at night.
Yeah.
In most.
But yeah, like, that's a great example of TV drama that was not in the comics.
Yeah.
Oh man, but the drama in the comics was fucking really dark. Like, reading The Walking Dead was hard. Like I got through it, but it was like, ugh, I felt like shit after watching it, which isn't bad. Like, that's kind of the point.
I hear about the zombies pushing against a revolving door and 3 people trying to survive, and my mind immediately goes to, that's a great comedy bit where you have like the humans in one section of the door, and they're just like revolving the door constantly trying to avoid the zombies.
That's immediately where my mind went to too, of like, how do you trick the zombies into actually believing that there's a live person in the 3rd section so that they're continually always going around in the circle?
I've seen a few dogs that were smart enough to use revolving doors. I don't know if zombies are that smart. Like, what?
Yeah, like they shouldn't be, according to my understanding of zombies generally.
Not to mention, like, if one of them gets stuck in the door, then that's it, right? Like,
yeah.
If you try to get 10 people in a revolving door, someone's arm gets squished, and then the door doesn't work anymore. Let alone, like, zombies taking their turn. Revolving doors are, like, big brain human stuff.
Yeah, they're also fucking scary.
Yeah, I don't like revolving doors.
I don't like escalators. Escalators scare the shit out of
Have
me.
you seen the revolving elevators in Germany?
No.
Oh god, they're so terrifying.
No.
Yeah, don't look it up. It's bad. Guild Wars 2 did magic zombies, and they could just fall from the sky, but people don't abandon cities, so those zombies can even use magic. I mean, that's the magical zombies are always Army of Darkness style. I'm a necromancer. I like the Diablo 3 storyline. I always thought was really funny. Because, like, you show up and there's just like, oh shit, there's a bunch of zombies here. They're like, oh, but the zombies always come from the next town over. It's like, you guys don't do anything about it? Like, well, you're the adventurer, you take care of it. It's like, maybe move. Maybe you guys should move. It's just, like, I can't tell if the Diablo universe is just, like, so fucked that that's all there is to it anymore, or if there's actually, like, nice places to live. Because, like, Keltium looked alright, but their leader was a demon, so who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there are nice places, usually.
Who the fuck chooses to live in Tristram? Time to go farm more potatoes. Oops, demon got me again.
Yeah, ever going back to Tristram after the first game was, why would you do that?
Yeah. Oh, look at all the goat people that live here now. That's not good. In Guild Wars 2's the army of mages shows up and kills the zombies. Yeah. I liked, there was a really cool, like, kind of side quest thing for Maybe it wasn't side quest during Burning Crusade, where you had to basically get the dragons in Warcraft to kill all the zombies because Dragonfire was the only thing hot enough to kill them all. I like that. I like that idea.
Was that Burning Crusade or
I think so.
Wrath of the Lich King?
It might have been Wrath of the Lich King. That would make more sense. I think that was Wrath of the Lich King. I think Game of Thrones also did some pretty cool stuff with zombies. Unfortunately, the show didn't really talk about it. I guess the book didn't really talk about it either, but it had a little bit more. I liked their idea of zombies, and I really like the dragon scale. There's so much cool stuff in the Game of Thrones because they just basically like just threw shit at the wall and then never talked about it again. So there's so much like speculation you can throw at it, but lots of really cool little ideas. Oof, this hand is not good. Shoulder, arm, hand. This music reminds me of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I don't know if anybody's ever played that. It's one of the easiest games in the universe, and it's so chill. It's like watching a Bob Ross show, but playing a video game.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, like, if you need to just, like, hang out and just, like, take a breath, Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it. Stardust. The prince becomes a zombie ghost after they die. Well, I didn't know that. They float around complaining to the surviving princess.
Stardust?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh wait, yeah, they do, yeah.
Is that in the movie or just the book?
It's in the movie. I don't remember it in the book.
Okay.
I haven't read the book.
I don't remember that in the movie.
book. I don't remember about it in the book, but they are ghosts in the movie.
Gotcha.
And one of them gets puppeteered after his death. But I don't know if I'd call that a zombie.
I really like that movie.
It was really good.
I was surprised. I
One of my favorites.
I went into it
actually-
not knowing what to
yeah.
expect, and I was like, yeah, all right, that was good.
I actually like the movie better than the book, which is really rare for me. Usually, I love the book significantly more than the movie.
Oh, word of warning. If you do want to check out John Dies at the End, don't watch the movie. I feel like they were like, man, we love this book. Let's turn it into a movie. They're like, great. How much money do you have? Like 20? Like 20 million? Like, no, I got like $20.
And we're gonna spend it all on one actor.
Yeah, we're gonna get Paul Giamatti in here.
And all of our
That's it.
$100 is going to Paul Giamatti.
It does not do the book any justice. To be fair though, like the movie itself it's an okay, like shitty B monster movie, which the book is. Like the book is a B movie, but they just the weird nuances and complexity of the mind-bending stuff in the book just does not come out in the show. So in the movie, which is a bummer, but like they would have needed a huge budget to do it that way. So I totally get it. I think I'm gonna stop. I'm not having fun drawing this hand.
I think I'm done with this character.
I think his armor's just too bulky.
Do you need me to move?
No, I think I need to like really chop this up and edit it in a way to make it different, but I'm just gonna avoid it. Give him a shield.
I'm gonna save this out real fast, and then you can have space to move shit around.
I'm the only person in chat, lol. Yeah, I think that means it's a good time to stop.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful day. Hope you had a fun time. I might take tomorrow to do some work. Just do a work day tomorrow. Might be in the Discord hanging out. Yeah, that's all I got. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Bye.